Well, y'all, yesterday was an uneventful day. Really nothing to, that's not really anything to share, but miles and miles. And check out the glaze on them windows. That's not dirty, that's glaze. When we bring this thing in, and do this motor swap, I'm gonna put some new windows in for sure, I hate to do that in the wintertime, going into winter, because they get popped. Wheeling down into the shop now. If the window weren't so bad, you can see, there it is, ta-da! There's old Rada-Bada-Ba. He got home yesterday. Pond got a little ice on her down there. Man, they got like 7 inches of snow always gone. Of course, it's been melting off pretty fast. Look at that old Rob even opened the shop for me. I was going to show you I shut the key off too fast. Man, these things warm up quick. It's 37 outside, as you saw. And that thing running for maybe 8 minutes or so. Enough I could air it up and unhook the trailer, and she's already like 150 degrees. So, yeah, here we are. Looks like there's just a little weather strip right there that holds that window in. There's a kind of just a back, it actually just sits against metal, which is weird, on the backside, and then you just hold it in, I guess, huh? With this,
So, I believe the glass pushes against that.
Uh-huh.
So, we kind of have to put this in there together.
They kind of go in at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot warmer in there at night, Rob.
Yeah.
It's been getting a little chilly, bud. So you got the seal pulled out. Your little window stopper deal's got to come out so you can get the glass.
So, I think that hinge is in there.
All trucks are ready to go. Wow. A far cry from how I looked a little while ago. So the things we had to do, we got that window replaced. And then on Rob's truck, which is my old girl, old Charlie Brown, put a new, they call it a hydronic heater. It's a diesel-fired heater that heats the coolant, which then in turn heats the engine and also heats the cab. Wasn't working at the very tail end of when I drove that thing last. So we went ahead and got a new one, installed that, which is why I'm so greasy. And I'm going to go home now and get cleaned up. We won our basketball games today. All is well. Weed Man Weeds Powerhouse. Check this out. We're warming up. And Freddie can't cleanly dunk the basketball, but he can get it up there and just get it over and snap that rim. I've been like, man, you got to do that. You got to do it, and especially in 8th grade. You know, it strikes fear into the hearts of your opponents. So today I said, man, it's going to be one of your last chances to do this. During warm-ups, he jumps up. You hear this big rim snap, and everyone in the gym's like, what? Someone just dunk it? It was pretty cool. Rob and I are going to take off tomorrow, or tonight, rather. He's going to leave shortly. I'm going to go home and spend some time at home, have dinner, clean up, and leave a little later. But we're going to be heading over the hill to western Montana, going to load in Ronan. And who knows, if you're lucky, might just bring you along on the adventure. Go behind the fellow on my way to Pocatello. Love that song. Thanks, Brad, for turning me on to that, by the way. Man in the fog. There she is. The White Wizard. Gandalf. Gandalf the White. Got into Missoula about, 10, 11. No, it's midnight. And fog set in. We're ready to go. Let's move it. I'll give you a good little eye of the fog. So that is not a lake. Doesn't it look like we're driving into a lake town? We're not. That is a fog bank that goes up the valley. We're going up that valley over there. Way on out into the fog. Wind up the valley. The old phenomenon of a camera. For some reason they cut through the fog. I contend you would almost be safer to drive through a camera lens in the fog or in a crazy snowstorm than actually use your eyeballs. I don't know why that is. Maybe somebody out there that's real camera minded understands the principle of why, but we're getting close. These cold, it's 33 degrees, these cold foggy mornings usually mean that cattle are going to be delayed. Things just seem to be a little slower. I hope not. Wanted us up there at 11 o'clock. It's 10:25. We're 15 minutes away probably, so really hopeful that we'll just hit it right on the nose. Man, I tell you what, I think we reversed our fortune by previously mentioning that foggy days usually equal slow setups here, but that is not the case. I was just driving through town here, putting over the yards, and Lloyd, the buyer, calls me and says, "Hey, man, you coming?" I was like, "No way, no way. You ready to go?" He's like, "Yep." Come on now. Hey, go. Go. Come on around. Go. Pretty sweet. This is they call this the old railroad corrals. There used to be a rail yard loadout here. Anyway, now it's they call it the Mission Valley. Well, it's been this way for years, but the Mission Valley FFA stockyard. They redid the loadouts since last year. It used to be just notoriously frustrating and hard to load out of. And that's not what you want. I mean, you want things as streamlined as possible, right? But sometimes things don't work that way. It was a pretty old loadout, but boy, they came and reconstructed it, and it is a beauty. Big old oil field, heavy, beautiful thing. Even the trailer unload, redone. Sweet, sweet. Back in the old days, there used to be this beautiful swamp kind of right here where you put everything into the swamp and then up and in. It is so nice. Speaking of so nice, look at this man. Becoming a seasoned cattle hauler, aren't you, Robbie?
NASCAR hauler driver to cattle hauler driver.
This just, it's weird. The accident scene seems like it just happened. State hunting action gone bad. Man, they just shut everything down on you. Ugh. Come over that hill and they're waving everybody to slow down. Well, this car in front of me just slams the brakes. I got 64,000 pounds on. I'm like, "Hey, bud." I started honking at them, giving them a little toot, and they realized it. Hit the gas. I was like, can't just shut her down like that. Can't just shut her down. Yikes. Just a funny little thing here as we're cruising, and granted this isn't perfectly flat ground, but just generally my general notice of this X15 in this truck. I know I talk about this all the time, you guys, but soon this motor will be gone out of this truck and you'll never hear me say another word about an X15, right? That day will come. We'll go into 2025. This thing will be running that Detroit. Anyways, an interesting thing is, of course, I'm climbing over this little overpass right now, but we'll get back down in this bottom. So here's what I'm finding. If I run this thing in 17th gear, I'll be that 5.1, you know, on my current economy, cruising along, high 4s, low 5s, you know, depending on the little flow of the road. So if I keep it at the same speed, which is 64, and kick it down into that low RPM range like they recommend or say that these motors are made for, watch this. I'm just going to keep it at, it's about 1,300 RPMs. And you just never see that instant economy recover. Okay, this is just a constant slight uphill. This road we're on, we're just about to Butte, Montana, and it just hangs in that low 4 range, hanging there. A little bit of turbo boost, you know, boosting 17 pounds. Like I say, it's just kind of slow going up. Let's kick her back down a notch. Barreling up this homestake. We are not barreling up this homestake. We're just a creeping. What's that song? Who used to sing that country song? A creeping. Just a creeping. You know what I'm talking about? Yep. We're just in this high range. Might need to squip her down into the low range here. We're just right on the edge. I'm boosting a little more than I should. Well, More than I personally like, done about 25 pounds of boost right now, pulling up here, but I'm just about to the top, so I'm gonna hang with it, I think. Oh, let's check the check. Check the check. These calves are very dry. That's good. That's good, except for that one. How did you get up that high to take a poo, buh? I guess they're bums about that high. Got a high bum. Looking good. Old Rada-Bada-Ba should be coming over the hill in a minute. Check these cattle out. Trailer. Here's a couple new tires I got put on the other day. Yep. Look at that there, another high poo. These little buggers are, oh yeah, there's a bum right there. Look, ha! Just the right size as they back up the truck to that high hole. Raw with the ball, to bang the bang. That's how I've been introducing you every time I say your name on the video. Raw with, remember that song? Yeah. Ball with the ball, but it's raw with the ball. Oh man. He's like, loser. That's a big man climbing on that trailer. Look at him. Look at him like a spider monkey.
Like King Kong.
You do. I feel like you should be like throwing barrels. Wasn't that the old arcade game? Yeah, you'd be like throwing barrels down off the top of the trailer. I tell you guys what, I don't care what truck I'm driving. I miss this truck. This truck still is my all-time favorite truck. Of all the trucks that I own and drive, as far as comfort, quiet, for me, it's always still this truck. One, because it's totally loaded up. Two, it just, I don't know. I mean, just love it. It's a good old truck. You probably wonder, if you love it so much, why don't you drive it? Well, it's the most efficient machine that I own. You're paying a driver as well as part of your overall business expense, right? So the efficiency of this truck will overcome, and help basically pay for the driver. You put a driver in a classic truck that's just getting mad. Not that Rob's going to mash a classic, but you know what I mean. Someone that's maybe not quite as conscious of efficiency, your margin is going to really get tight to the point where you're like, is this worth doing this? It's the age-old thing, right? Some people are like, you want to keep drivers around, you got to put them in a classic truck, all that jazz. But by doing that, you're almost making it not work. A little fuel in the mule before we head out in the night. Everything's rolling good. Cattle are all standing up. I'll tell you, the last 2 loads I've hauled now, I've had cattle just standing up the whole time. Of course, we're just, getting going on our trip. This trip, I don't think I mentioned, it's just over 1,000 miles in total, which means we should get there like first thing in the morning tomorrow. But yeah, top off the tanks. That new windshield Rob put in is holding just like a gemstone. Whoa. How you getting along, man? Yeah. It's kind of that time of night, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm topping off now, because I'm actually going to pull off at Murdo, because I got to go out from the west side of town. If I had to go out from the east side of town, I would go down Philly Vivian and just shoot down straight.
Yeah.
But since I got to go on the west side of town and down, and
look at that, buddy. Steven. Old Dry Creek boys with the shiny trailers, the fancy trucks. Come on. Whew. Yeah, this is the dog. The black dog. Somebody asked me about the black dog. You seen the black? I was like, no. Well, it's not true. Well, it's kind of true. The black dog. You guys want to know what the black dog is? It's when you get really tired and you start to see things. The old truckers would say, saw the black dog, and it was a sign that it was time to pull it over. Zonk it out, right? Haven't Seen the black dog. Seen a few things in my day. Never the black dog. I think I saw a Tyrannosaurus Rex one night or something out there. It's the sign that it's time to take the snooze, but I am nowhere close to black dogging it. Kind of, you're kind of in the throes. It's kind of a wet, foggy night. A little bit in the throes of the trip. We're 667 miles in. Solid 350 to go, But there's only one way to go, and that's forward. There's the 90, y'all. Back on the 90. So we're gonna shoot this over to Presho, South Dakota, and that's where I'll cut south. Down to Bassett. Any of y'all from Bassett? I bet somebody's close by. Going down there to drop these dogs. I mentioned this before, but right here is where old Rooster would pull over on that. Right, the ramp where we get on the freeway, he'd pull over. Whenever I could sneak away, he'd pull over right there, and be about this time of night. Nah, it'd be a little bit later. It is a little later, because we usually left Billings about midnight, so it'd be about 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. He'd pull over and turn it over to old JJ. He'd go back and snooze, and I'd take that cab over and that load of pigs and push him east. He'd start stirring around about the time I got over there to Plankington. We usually fuel up at Plankington, which is, 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Probably 4 hours east of here. Oh, I love all the fuel mileage, and I am a fuel miser. However, when conditions are favorable, I have no qualms kicking her in the old ribs. Like right now, I feel like, of course I'm going up the hill, but I feel like I got a nice little tailwind, something good. It's not really windy, but I don't know. The truck is really rolling out east, really free and easy right now. Really wanting to make a little hay, so kicking her out pretty well. Morning time. Oh man, I feel like about I don't know. Can't think of what I feel like. Can't really put it to words. Winter, South Dakota. Got down to Winter. Well, the scale back there behind me about 6:30 this morning. Took my little snooze for an hour and a half. I kind of fitful rolling about. And anyway, here we are. Rainy, dreary one of them mornings. It's kind of been that way most of the trip, but we're getting along. Cattle are riding good. There's a new skid steer over there. Look how bud. Got a little JCB on the back. Winter, South Dakota was under road construction for like 3 years. The whole town was under construction. It's done, and it's beautiful. It's been done for quite a while now, but just a big old beautiful 4-lane with a turning lane, concrete. I think they put some new sewer systems in. If you guys were wanting a little outside education on good old Winter, South Dakota, boy, she was tore up for a long time. Never thought it'd get done. Never thought. Looked like it's bird hunting season out here in old South Dakota. Big business out here in the old Dakota land. Come on. Whew. All right, we're gonna punch this in, man. What are we, 936 miles? I think I still got like 70 to go, so 1,000 something, I don't know, it don't matter anymore. Yeah, it's kind of all the same at this point. I also realized that it is not great for me to share my face the morning after the all-night drive. After my last video, I was like, man, boy, you looking tough, son. Billy Bull Holla. My goodness. Go from like a happy 38-year-old guy to about 72 years old. Hey, helping out here all my years. And then a few hours later, everything kind of comes back to life a little bit. Ain't quite so tough, but I'm making a little mileage though, huh? A little loaded mileage there. for whatever that's worth. Ah, the Niobrara coming up. Oh, there's a deer down there. No, 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 no. Come on, bud. Usually if you make your presence known. Yes, sir. That's a good boy. Try to give them, just to get their attention, like, hey, I'm coming. Don't even think about it. That's another to-do for this rig. I gotta get a bumper on him. Well, we got in here. Last 3/4 of the mile into the chute is a little bit greasy. Like I said, it's solid underneath. Little slick on top. We'll see here. Come on. Oh man, we're spinning. Yep. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, come on. She's a growling. Grab a gear. Go. Made her. Little excitement, huh? Yeah. A little more mud, a little more rock and roll. Okay, he said follow me. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Okay, I'm gonna put this down. Boy, I tell you what, it was hard getting back in here. These old hand-me-down Jordans, probably never thought they'd be out in this kind of mess. Boy, oh boy, you guys, I tell you what, I had to put the phone down and do some driving. Had to go flip around out here in that. These dang trucks, I forget these newer trucks have the traction control. So I lost my momentum until I was hitting on my switch. Whew! Man, oh man. So they got about an inch of rain here night before last. Nice guy. Little ranch and feeding operation. So these cattle, just to give you an idea, they'll do what's called warming these calves up. Warm, like warm by the fire. They weigh 600 pounds now. These guys will feed them until they get to about 850 or so, and then they'll go from here down to the main yard. So these guys are little, what you'd call custom feeders. You know, they have a ranch, some ground, and then to supplement the place and make it work, they feed cattle on the side for bigger outfits. Kind of like how we truck, quote unquote, on the side to help, help the ranch, work up home. These guys feed cattle on the side, essentially. Oh man, there's that bog. Come on, mama. Uh-oh. Come on, baby. Yeah. Hear that air clicking? Stupid anti-lock stuff. Anti-lock systems are made to safeten your experience, but if you know what you're doing, like I like to think that I do, they usually just get you in trouble. Like here on this big hill we gotta go. Come on. Gotta get some momentum because you can't count on those wheels spinning. Just, oh yeah. After this, it's all downhill to the road. You get her? Good up there. Yep. Sweet. Anyways, so that's the deal. Woofta. Big Rob is unloading about 25 miles from here. Wednesday, I got a load of cows going to Idaho. So I'll just shovel this out and then we'll get a good wash after the Idaho run. In terms of washing these trailers out, keeping them clean, the main time they really should be washed out or rinsed out is if you're hauling, I call them fat cattle, which are cattle that have been, fattened up and they're ready to go to the slaughter and be processed. Their manure is pretty high powered because they've been on a high diet, getting grown up. So because of that, their manure tends to be much more corrosive to the metals. I mean, all manure is corrosive, but feedlot manure is especially corrosive. These cattle just came off the field, roaming free, so their manure is not that bad, and it's mixed with that sawdust. So it's fairly fluffy even, really, and we will just kick it out. And as long as you're keeping the bulk of it out of your trailer, you're good. Now, if this was a load of fat cattle or something that I hauled down, no way. We'd get her rinsed out and squared away. But anywho, boy, there's the road, huh? One last swamp to drive through there. Dun, dun, dun.